Jets chaos. I was going to say Jeremy, and then I remembered that I should be saying this is Jets chaos because that's the name of the channel. So you need to remind people of that. You need to say Jets chaos many times, many times, many, many times. Who does that sound like? This country is doing many good things. So look, we have to say Jets chaos like crazy because for those of you who forget to subscribe, or like, you might say, "What happened to that bald guy? I want to know if he's I want to hear that bald guy talk again." And you're not going to remember because when you type in bald guy, bald guy Jets YouTube, I ain't going to pop up. I'm not that famous with the algorithms. You type in bald guy Jets, that kind of stuff. I don't know what's going to pop up. I honestly I don't know. Maybe that I don't know. Maybe Fireman Ed. I don't know. So you know, be sure to remember the name Jets Chaos. So just hit the subscribe to the channel. Come on, it's no big deal. You just have to subscribe. Is it that tough, guys? We're playing the New Orleans, or some people like to say Nolans. I hate that shit. I don't like to use nicknames like that. I don't like that. It's corny. It's annoying. So I just say the New Orleans Saints, or the NO Saints, or the Saints of New Orleans, or the Saints come marching in, or whatever, however you want to say it. But we're playing them, and they are not a very good team. The Saints are not a good football team. We know this. We know that the Saints are not very good. Like, their record isn't good. They don't win a lot of football games. Like, when the Saints go onto the field to play another football team, they usually walk off the field losers. Now, some Saints fans, if they came in and heard this, they'd say, "Well, so do you." Yeah, I know. We are losers. So you have the Saints losers and the Jets losers. And here's the problem. Because they're losers also, the Jets might actually win the game. Now, what's helping us is that we're starting Brady Cook. He's an undrafted free agent. He hasn't been very good. There are some delusional Jet fans that think it's because of coaching, or it's because, give the kid a break, give him a few games. No. I will say there's a 1% chance that is good and he's going to develop into a really good quarterback. And I say 1% because I'm going to go, because none of you know Brady Cook enough to sit there and say he's different than other drafted free agents. No, he's not. He's not different. Okay? He wasn't drafted for a reason. So I'm going to go by all of the data of the last 50 years. In the last 50 years, look at how many quarterbacks made it in the NFL as starting quarterbacks. Starting NFL quarterbacks in the NFL, ones that you'd want to be your quarterback, ones that were good, that have anything on their resume that's positive. You will find, if you find any at all, that the quarterbacks that fit that criteria were from many, many, many years ago, right? That's why I say modern football, right? Maybe we should go back from 1980. What's up, Johnny boy? I love you, bro. Tell me you're home. Don't yell chaos at me. Just tell me chaos, I am home. Okay, so the reality is you're not going to get very often an undrafted free agent quarterback come in and be the man. So this dream of this fantasy of let him cook is so far-fetched, it's a 1 in 100 long shot. And so far, we've got to say, it's not looking very good. Yes, I'm home. All right. You're home, eating the good food, eating the manna, eating the arroz con pollo. You know what I mean? Eating the good stuff. My boy, Johnny boy. So we have to be realistic. Maybe Brady Cook will be a backup quarterback in this league. Maybe it'll be for the Jets. Maybe. And it doesn't really matter. We got bigger problems because when you don't have a starting quarterback, it's kind of silly to worry about backup quarterback. I mean, what are we talking about here? We need to figure out who our starting quarterback is of the future, right? I mean, we all know this. It's not Brady Cook. Now, the New Orleans Saints, they took a guy named Tyler Shuck. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew who he was last year before. It was a month before the draft, the Senior Bowl. That's when it started to happen, Senior Bowl. Even Dom C didn't know who he was until the Senior Bowl. Laughed at me, scarfed. Tony the GM doesn't know what he's talking about, right? His arch rival, Dom C, Tony the GM, arch rivals. But when Tyler Shuck was ranked 250 on PFN and didn't even get drafted in the mock drafts, Tony the GM, and a lot of you heard it, came on my live shows. We did some quarterback live shows, and he said Tyler Shuck, Tyler Shuck, Tyler Shuck. He ranked him like second. I mean, literally. He didn't like Sanders. He didn't like Cam Ward. He liked Tyler Shuck. Right? And now here we go. Here we are. Tyler Shuck, all of a sudden, is at the Senior Bowl. All of a sudden, is coming up the draft board. Oh, he could be this in the third round. He could be in the second round. And all of a sudden, people were even hinting he could go in the back of the first round. And lo and behold, Tyler Shuck is looking pretty good. Now, the reality is it doesn't matter because the Saints, whether they're not going to want a quarterback in the league. I'll tell you that much. Tyler Shuck has done good enough that they don't want a quarterback. But that means nothing because the Rams get their pick anyway. It's not about that. What it is, oh no, the Rams get Atlanta's pick. It's not about that, even if the Saints pick, though. It doesn't matter. We don't want them ahead of us because somebody else could trade with them. They could trade with them and then go ahead of us. Right? Now, some people say, oh, the Raiders are going to lose out, so it doesn't matter. It matters. The Raiders might take Dante Moore. The Jets might love Dante Moore. We don't know. All we know is we need to lose out and give ourselves the best draft position possible because these games are now meaningless. They're meaningless. When we were starting Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields and still in season mode trying to win, they meant something. They did. Because when we were 0-7, Aaron Glenn needed to show he could win. We needed to turn it around a little, show something. We couldn't just come out and be epically the worst team to ever play. We needed to win some games. Once you starting an undrafted free agent quarterback, Brady Cook, when you're starting him, it doesn't matter. It's meaningless, these games. These are like exhibition games. They're preseason games. They are meaningless. They mean nothing. They will not be remembered. Games like this do not matter. It is not the same thing as when we were playing Cincinnati and Cleveland and trying to get our first win. It's not the same. These games are being played. Garrett Wilson's not in. A.Z. Thomas is out for the year. Key players are out of the game. Many will not be Jets next year. It no longer matters. They're going to go out and play hard, though. They're going to. And I understand it. I understand it. They're competitors. This is what they do. Aaron Glenn wants to win. He wants to go in and have personal pride, momentum or whatever. But it means nothing. Do you think if we would have lost that game to the Rams in 2019, anybody would have cared? Or is it 2020? I'm not sure. Nobody would have cared. It would change nothing. Last year or 2 years ago when we lost to when we beat Washington. Stupid. I mean, not the team. The team isn't stupid because I understand the team is always going to try to win. But it was bad for us. It was Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 was so angry when we won that Washington game. And he's right. Not to be angry at the team. The team is going to try no matter what. But to just be angry that it happened. Like real Jet fans right now. Harlan is wrong. Harlan, I love you, but you are so wrong. Harlan came into a chat and said true Jet fans would be rooting for them to win. The worst take in the world. I'm sorry, Harlan, but you couldn't be more wrong. First of all, nobody has the right to judge whether else somebody else is a true Jet fan. Because if you told me you were rooting for the Jets to win, I wouldn't say you weren't a true Jet fan. Everybody wants the same thing. We all want to win a Super Bowl. We all want the Jets to be a great team. We all want to be successful. We all want the same thing, unless your name is Modine. We all want the same thing. We want the Jets to be great. Okay? So you don't have the right to tell other fans that they're not true fans because they believe the path to that is different than the path you believe in. You believe in the path of always root for my team to win. But if you're a Jet fan who understands that losing these next 3 games and possibly moving into the 1 slot or the 2 slot increases our chances to get Mendoza. Or if they love the other guy from Oregon, I'm forgetting his name already, Dante Moore, or Ty Simpson from Alabama, whatever it is. I understand that you don't have to draft. You could get a franchise quarterback in the 2nd round at the end of the 1st round. I get that. No one's saying it's a guarantee. But if you believe that Mendoza is the guy or that Dante Moore is the guy, if you believe that's the quarterback that's going to be the quarterback, the franchise quarterback we've always wanted, if you believe that in your soul, if you believe that, then it doesn't make you a bad fan to root for that, to hope to lose to get that. It does not make you a bad fan. It makes you a fan that makes you who you are. I do want Aller, but I don't want him over Mendoza. I want him as a backup court. I want to take him as an insurance pick if he really is going to slip in the draft. I don't think he is. I think Aller is going to I think by the time it's all said and done, if he's healthy enough to go to the combines and show out or do a practice day, I think that Aller is going to move way up. I'm not Tony the GM. He's saying he's going to go back to he's going to be the #1 quarterback taken. I'm not saying that. But if Aller is a 4th round, if he's there day 3 and we grab him even after we drafted Mendoza, for example, because that's what I'm hoping for, so that's what I like to say, I would think it's a smart thing. Because I think there's a chance that Aller could still be a good NFL quarterback. And if not, he could be a backup quarterback. And if not, we just use the 4th round pick, and that's okay, fine. It's a backup. It's an insurance plan. What if Mendoza's not the right guy? Maybe Aller is. Other teams have done it. Other teams have done it. RG3, Kirk Cousins. Other teams have done it. We've had no luck. 50 years and can't get a freaking quarterback in this team. Can't get a quarterback. Can't do it. When we do, they get hurt. We can't do it. We've been dying here. So is anyone going to argue if we take 2 shots? If we take our shot at quarterback in the 1st round and then we double dip in the 4th round? So I do want Aller. But, I don't want to say it out loud. The truth is, if we used Aller with the Colts pick at 18, and with the 1st pick, we took a guy like Avril Reese, I would be privately happy, but I'd be like one of 5 fans. So 5 Jet fans would be really happy. And but I wouldn't say it out loud, because if I out loud said, "Yay, I'm glad they took an Aller at 18," and then he doesn't work out, I'm the biggest dumb schmuck putz lunatic alive. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Well, I'm not keeping my mouth shut. I'm saying it, but it hasn't happened, so no one will be mad at me. But I would pretend to be like everyone else. Hey, Eller, why'd they do that? Oh my God, I can't believe it. What's going on here? This organization's ridiculous. I'll be like everybody else pretending. But inside I'll be saying, holy cow, I think Aller might be a really good quarterback in the NFL. I do. I still believe. I still believe. I don't think the few bad games that Aller had convinces me. It takes away a lot of confidence. I understand why he's not a top 5 prospect anymore, like to go in the top 5, top 5 picks. But that doesn't mean I don't still think there's hope for him. The guy's got a cannon. The guy's got tons of talent. I don't know. So if you put Drew Aller on Oregon, can you imagine the success he would have? Maybe, possibly. We might, he might be he might be considered the #1 pick this year if his life was different and he played for freaking Oregon. It's situation means something. So yeah, I would secretly be happy. There's no franchise quarterback in this draft. I'm a bad fan though. Why are you a bad fan? Draft a wide receiver, then two linebackers, and draft two quarterbacks in the late rounds. Why are you a bad fan? That's what I don't understand. That's what I think you're saying it with me. Like how ridiculous it is. We all have different opinions, whatever. And some of us might think the other people's opinions are wrong and some people's opinions are right. But the thing that has to stop is the accusing other people of being bad fans. Like you're just because someone disagrees with you does not make them a bad fan. It's like rooting for the Jets to tank does not make you a bad fan. Rooting for them to win does not make you a bad Jets fan. It makes you a human being with a different opinion than somebody else. This is the problem with our society. We're so extreme. We're like, oh, you have a different political thing, or you believe in something different about this topic or this topic that makes you a bad person or a bad American. No, it doesn't. It makes you somebody who believes something different. It's so weird that people can't understand that you could have a different opinion of something and believe that something makes something better than somebody else, and it automatically makes you bad or racist or this or that. It doesn't. It means you're just a person with a different opinion. I Turkin comes in at Jets Cash. Should the Jets focus on building the team instead of worrying about drafting a quarterback? The team needs so much help. I would think that finding a bridge would be a better idea. Thoughts? I don't think that's a bad position. I don't think it's a bad position, especially if I'm a person who does not want to trade draft capital and move up. If we end up with the fourth pick, I do not want to give away the 18th pick of the draft to move up. I don't. I don't. Because exactly what you said. We have too many needs. We have too many holes on this team. I do not want to do it. But if a quarterback fell into our lap, if we end up with the third pick, the fourth pick, and a quarterback we love, if the team loves him, not because they think they have to take a quarterback, not because there's pressure, oh, we don't love him, but that's the best guy, I'm against that. But if the team loves him, I always believe if you love a prospect at quarterback, if you love a quarterback, if you love the prospect, and you have an opportunity to take him, you take him. You take him. No matter what condition your franchise is in, you take him. So if he falls onto our lap and they love him, take him. If he doesn't, I'm okay with not trading up and use that pick to take Avril Reese or Downs, the safety, or Lemon, the other wide receiver that's going to be there, like the best wide receiver. Like, you could do that. I'm not going to scream and cry. And then I like what Knobcraft said. Take a couple of swings in the late rounds. Maybe Drew Aller. Maybe Nussmeier or Nussberger or whatever the freak his name is from LSU. Or that other guy, Soren or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know. But, like, that's fine. That's fine. And then we can and say the quarterback wasn't there. There was no available quarterback. So we're going to get a bridge quarterback. Well, who cares about quarterback? Let's just focus on building the roster. We have 3 number 1 picks next year. I could live with that. But if the quarterback you like is there, you never should say, well, we're not ready yet. No. Because you might never have that opportunity again. If you love the quarterback, you take him. I do not want to trade away all this draft capital to move up to get a quarterback that we have no idea is going to be good or not. As much as I love Mendoza, I am never going to sit there and say I'm sure again. Because if you say you're sure, you don't know about football. Because we've watched for 50 years, and if you look at all the quarterbacks that were picked in the top 5, how many of them succeeded and were franchise quarterbacks? At best, half. At best. So nobody knows. But if he falls into your lap, fine. Because if we take him, think about it, we still have the 18th pick in the draft, maybe better. Right? We don't know what the Colts are going to do. Could be worse. They might make the playoffs. I don't think they will. Hopefully it'll be the 16th pick or the 15th pick. Hopefully they lose out. We'll see. We would still have 2 second-round picks. We still have a lot of picks to start improving the team. Right? That 18th pick or 17th pick will be very valuable. We might be able to get a WR2 like Lemon. We might be able to take Anthony Hill or whatever. There's be a couple of linebackers. What's the guy? His name that everybody loves, that Rusty Spooner loves. That guy, Styles or whatever his name is, Sunny something. Like if we get a guy like that and you get Mendoza, oh my God. Then we have the two second round picks. Maybe you get the center out of Oregon, firm up that center position, make our offensive line elite to protect Mendoza. I'm loving it. But if we don't get Mendoza and you take Averell Reese or Downs with that first pick, that second pick could be Lemon, the wide receiver. You could focus on building the roster. We'll have a lot of options. Drew Aller is a big sleeper. Okay, facts. Um, okay, so you guys are talking amongst yourselves. People can call me whatever. It's not my problem. I know Knob, you don't care what people call you or refer to you. The only person that could hurt Knobcraft's feelings is a guy like me because Knobcraft loves me. And if suddenly I was calling him names and hating on him, that would probably make Knobcraft sad. But I would never do that because I love Knobcraft. Um, I think they need a wide receiver, and the rest goes towards the defense. Yeah, I mean, I think we need a wide receiver, but I don't think we have to bring him in this year. I think it's a 2-year rebuild, so I'm totally fine with whether we bring him in this year or whether we bring him in next year. I think that whether we bring in I think that the order doesn't matter as much. Although I would like to bring in a linebacker already. I just can't watch this defense anymore. Billy, I'm not for trading up at all for any of these quarterbacks. I think the Jets probably draft Simpson with the upper first rounder. I don't know about Simpson, but I mean, again, I'm not pretending to know about quarterbacks anymore. They're just too hard to. They're just too hard to prospect. I admit it. I just can't do it anymore. Knobcraft, mate, my fellow Jets fan, brother. Hey, buddy, everybody, you're the best. Appreciate it. Support Jeremy. Discussing different things about. Oh, thanks, man. CB, I should have realized it was you. You're the best, man. Mr. Bruno. You know, my best friend's restaurant was Bruno's in Canarsie, Flatlands Avenue near Rockaway Parkway. I grew up in that pizza place. It's called Bruno's. Pe- People are saying that Glenn and Moogie are so desperate they'll reach for someone in the five. I believe Glenn and Moogie are smarter than this. I do too. They've done nothing to show that they'll be desperate or bad when it comes to the draft. I don't think like everybody has to associate. I don't like Aaron Glenn, so that means he's bad at everything. I hate that. Like everything could be different categories, and I don't know. I know that he believed in Justin Fields, but I don't think anybody knew that Justin Fields was going to be this bad. Like even if you take the worst version of Justin Fields on Chicago or Pittsburgh, it wasn't this bad. Jeremy, you'd still have 4 firsts you can trade next year and move up with the 27, 28 picks. Yeah, I know. I know that you could do it later on. I get it. Yeah, I'm with you, Kraft. Do you think that AG is one and done? I really think that AG missed on keeping AR8 on as the bridge. AG has many. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't care if AG was the bridge or not. I mean, because the fact is we were going to stink anyway. Um, but yeah, is AG better than Justin Fields? Yes. Would he have been the best quarterback, talent wise, if he stayed than any other option that we had? Yes. Do I understand why AG might have wanted to get rid of him? Yes, because he needed to get the cancer out of the locker room, and when I say cancer, the culture, and it may have been that they bumped heads. They may have bumped heads if he stayed. I think AG wanted a fresh start, and he didn't want to have a confusing situation where players were looking to AG instead of looking to him. That's my feel about it. I don't think it's worth worrying about. We weren't going to win anything with Aaron Rodgers. He's retiring probably at the end of the year anyway, so it doesn't change anything. We're still in the same shitty position, so who cares? You know what I mean? Like maybe we would have won 8 games. Yay! Then we would have a worse draft pick and we'd be in the same crappy position. But why do we think we would have won 8 games? We were a worse roster. If Aaron Rodgers stayed, we were worse than last year. The roster is worse. So what would have really changed? No, crap. This is such a great year for position players and a down quarterback year. Nothing wrong. Well, that's if you don't believe in the guy, Knob, right? If they believe in Mendoza, and think he's the greatest thing since chopped liver, or if they believe in Dante Moore and believe he's the greatest thing since chopped liver, and when they come up to the podium at pick 4 or 5, wherever they pick, and one of those guys is there, a guy that they think is the greatest thing since chopped liver, they're going to take him. Why would they wait? Like, they're not going to think, oh, it's not a good year for quarterbacks if they love the guy. You don't love Mendoza. I have no idea why you don't like Mendoza, because he's really good. But for whatever reason, your opinion is that you don't like him. For whatever reason, you've developed this opinion of him. So that's fine. That's your opinion. So I would say to you, don't draft him. Like, if Knobcraft was the GM, I would say, do not draft him. You don't believe in him. Wait till next year. Use the picks, build the roster. I would start 100%. But if you're a guy who believes in Mendoza or Dante Moore or quarterback, and they're there, I think you should take them. I think it's really simple. I think it's based on what you think. But what my point is, if a quarterback you love is there, you take him. Because how often is a quarterback you love there? It's just too hard to find a quarterback. I've been a Jet fan for over 40 years. And the only time we've ever found a quarterback in the draft, it happened twice. They tore their rotator's cuff, both of them. So for me, I'm not going to be desperate and take a quarterback just because I need a quarterback. I'm not. But I'm going to be honest and say there's one quarterback in this draft that I love. I don't think he's generational. I'm not a lunatic. I'm not going to trade tons of picks to get him. I don't. I don't think he's generational. But I like him the best in this draft. And he would be in my top 5 in any of the last few years' draft. I wouldn't have him over Drake May. No way. But he would be top 5. I like him. I like him because he actually goes through progressions. He's a pocket quarterback. I like him because he had tons of injuries on his offensive line. He was under tremendous duress the entire game against Penn State. And he found a way. He reached down deep. He found a way. Most quarterbacks would have crumbled. Ty Simpson, when he's under pressure, looks like crap to me. Looks like crap. So, I mean, but he didn't. Mendoza's one of the very few quarterbacks I've ever seen be under tremendous duress and still find a way. And his ball placement is beautiful. He makes NFL caliber passes all the time. It's crazy. And his guys aren't wide open. They're NFL open. They're half a step. They're not college open. These other quarterbacks that we fall in love with, look at the guys that they're throwing to. They're 2 steps open. Mendoza is placing the ball. He's not afraid to throw it, first of all. He's throwing it to guys that only have a half a step, that other college quarterbacks wouldn't even throw the ball. Justin Fields wouldn't even throw the ball to them. And Mendoza doesn't hesitate. He has the confidence and the ability to place the ball. That's why I love him. I love the guy. If Mendoza's there, I'm not saying trade up a huge trade package, but if Mendoza's there, if I'm the GM, I'm grabbing him. And if I'm wrong, I get fired. Or if I'm wrong now, you guys are going to look back and give me shit for it and say, Jeremy doesn't know what he's talking about. You loved him and he stinks. And I'll say, well, it was 50-50. Because that's what it is. No matter how much we love a guy, it's 50-50. Because nobody in this world that I know has ever proven to be better than 50-50 when it comes to prospecting a quarterback. So that's the reality. So there's a 50% chance I'm a freaking idiot, and there's 50% chance I'm going to look smart. That's, in my experience. Project Dom C says, Project Prospect with Dom C says, a quarterback and competent coaching is 70 to 80% of the equation. I agree with that. I understand we're not sure if we have either of them. I agree with that. And I like that you said not sure, even with Aaron Glenn. Not sure. There's some things I'm concerned about, but I cannot sit there and give a final verdict on Aaron Glenn because he has a terrible roster. He just got here, and he took over a bowl of cancer. That's what this clubhouse, this team, this organization was, cancer. That's what you gave him. You gave him cancer. He has to rip it out first. Do we need to see growth? I think Dom C and I are on the same page. We need to see growth next year. We don't need to see playoffs championship contender, but we need to see growth. We need to see him not make the same mistakes because he did make mistakes that we saw earlier in the year. He already started to show some improvement. We need to see more steps forward, more growth. Even if the roster's still bad, not completely there yet, we need to see growth. So I think we could all agree on that. But yeah, I agree 100%. Quarterback and coach is 70 to 80% of the equation, with no doubt in my mind. The history proves it over and over and over and over again. You have a great quarterback and a great coach, you're a competing team. And the only thing that adjusts over the years to keep it going is players go, position players, and you have to replace them, and you have to draft well to do that. And then the quarterback costs a lot of money, so that can, like Dallas with Prescott, right? Dak. Not that Dak is so bad, but the problem is they're paying him $60 million, so he has to be like Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, which he's not, which is a problem because now you have to draft really well because you're using up so much cap space on a quarterback and a wide receiver, right? So there's all kinds of issues. But once you have a great coach and a great quarterback, it's really easy. Look at Baltimore, look at Kansas City. It's really easy to stay competitive and have sustained success. History proves it time and time again. Sometimes you have a coach that's so great in another element of your team that the quarterback doesn't have to be great. They have to be really good. Giants, Phil Simms, right? Parcells Sims, but Lawrence Taylor, right? There's always outliers. There's always like special exceptions. Oh, Lawrence Taylor, right? Baltimore Ravens in the early 2000s, Ray Lewis, right? So there's always exceptions. The thing is, the Jets, Billy is saying, have the ammo to move up next year for a quarterback too. Maybe this year it's better to fix the roster. I just think you don't have to say one thing or the other. I think it's about what the Jets, and I'll say it a million times. I think our GM, because we can't control that. We have no control over our GM. Our GM has to decide, is there a quarterback I love? And decide what the value of that quarterback is. I hope that they don't trade all of our draft capital to get a quarterback. I hope that if a quarterback falls in our lap and we take him, it's because we loved him and that we're just going to be really happy. That our team fell in love with the quarterback, our scouts, our GM fell in love with the quarterback, and the quarterback came to us. Now, I don't mind trading like a second rounder or something to move up one slot or something. So I'm not saying that. I just don't want to give away the haul. I don't want to give away the number one picks and have some kind of crazy trade. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I see you all, but I can't read everyone. Look at this. I can remember watching Richard Tarr versus Miami throwing 3 picks during the Mud Bowl. 3 picks. 5, my friends. He threw 5. 3 of them were to A.J. Dewey. He threw 2 more. He threw 5 interceptions in that Mud Bowl, just so you know. And I remember the announcers, interception A.J. Dewey. Oh, I'll never forget it. You watched the game at the Second Avenue Deli in New York City? That's sick. Do you know when I read something like that, Second Avenue Deli in New York City? Because obviously we're not, I could envision the Second Avenue Deli right now on Third and 33rd, or in Lex and 33rd, and the one uptown on the Upper East Side on like 78th and First Avenue. And I could envision in my head the real Second Avenue Deli, the original one that I used to go to as a kid. And when I was a teenager, my dad's store on Union Square, he'd send me to Second Avenue Deli to pick us up some sandwiches. And I remember eating at Second Avenue Deli and the real one, the real location. And my God, that's a hell of a place to watch a game. Did you have a table? Or was there a bar? No, there's no bar there. You sat at the table and watched the game and what, just kept ordering sour pickles? Oh, that's a good memory. The only thing I liked at Second Avenue Deli, I liked either the corned beef or the steak and onions sandwich. For pastrami, it's Katz's for me. But Katz's and Second Avenue Deli was my childhood. Billy, there are people out there who think Simpson is more NFL ready than Moore or Mendoza. I'm no expert, so I don't know. I just don't want to trade up for any of them. Yeah, me neither, man. I don't trust Simpson yet. I just don't see enough. I haven't seen enough of him, so it's really hard for me personally. And the problem is, so far when he's played against what I think are really good defenses, it's not that he's been bad. He hasn't made me lose confidence in saying, oh, he can't be a good quarterback, but he also hasn't wowed me. Mendoza's the only one in a long time, in a while, that's really, well, I can't say that because both Daniels and Drake May and J.J. McCarthy, all those quarterbacks wowed me, like against good competition. But this year, the only one that wowed me against good competition so far is Mendoza. And he's the only one that I think that Mendoza plays in the most realistic offense that lets you predict how he'll do in the NFL. Like I think he's in the most realistic offense as far as going through progressions, you know, not sitting there just doing little RPO plays and quick little slants and hitches. Like he's actually in the pocket throwing the ball. A quarterback needy team like our New York Jets shouldn't be overly concerned about Mendoza's merely adequate arm strength and athleticism. It's good enough for me. Mendoza's high IQ. Yeah, I mean, look, his arm. I don't see anything wrong with his arm. It's not like Drew Aller's arm. It's not. It's not a cannon. But the question with a quarterback's arm is it enough to make the passes that you need to make? And to that, I say Philip Rivers, and that's all you need to know. Was Philip Rivers able to make all the passes? How'd that work out? But he didn't have a big enough. No, his arm's not good enough. Drew Brees, his arm's not big enough. He doesn't have a big enough arm. Drew Brees didn't have a big enough arm, according to people. Phil Simms didn't have a huge arm, right? So doesn't matter. To me, that's a nice thing if they have a freaking cannon for an arm. It's a nice thing, but it's like mobility, like being a great running quarterback. It's a nice thing, but it comes secondary. It's after our can I the first thing and all that matters to me, the box that has to be checked is that they could drop back in the pocket, go through progressions, and make every kind of throw. Like the entire passing tree. Nothing is limited. That's what I want. That's what a franchise quarterback is. Do I need to drop one in on the sideline with touch? Corner of the end zone? Do I need to throw up the middle? Do I need to anticipate? Do I need to be able to throw a slant? Like these are the things. That's all I look for. I want them to be able to make every kind of throw on the football field that you need a quarterback to make. I haven't gone through the games yet and even checked off those boxes for Mendoza, to be honest. I haven't watched I'm going to go through all 22 games and I'm going to start doing a checkbox thing. Have I seen a touch pass? Have I seen an anticipation pass? Has he thrown a pass to the sideline where the wide receiver hasn't broken yet and then breaks and the ball's there waiting for him? I like to see that. That's like a Tom Brady type stuff, right? That's what he was so good at. That's what Peyton Manning was so good at. They throw the football to a spot, trusting and timing it and knowing that the wide receiver would turn and then catch the ball. Not every quarterback in the NFL does that, unfortunately. And you know what? To be a franchise quarterback, I think that's a skill you got to have. I have a feeling the Jets are going to win tomorrow. Don't tell me that, Fletch. Glenn doesn't care about the draft. Of course not. That's what I'm saying. The Jets are going to be trying to win. Like if you're rooting for the Jets to lose for the draft pick, which I am, understand that they don't care. They're trying to win. You're saying I can't hear you. Wait a second. At JetsCast, I can't hear you. Does everybody hear me? Is there anyone that can't hear me? You would all be saying it, right? Let me know if you could hear me. CB says if the Jets don't draft a quarterback like Mendoza, Dante Moore Simpson, then we will see. Best players available, non-quarterback. Yeah. And then you go best quarterback available address. Remember, we have so many holes. It's trading back if there's a partner is always an acceptable thing. I would love it if the Colts pick came like let's say the Colts pick became the 16th pick, and then we trade to the 25th pick. I would love that if it meant like a second and third round pick or something, and maybe a third next year, some wacky package like that. Check out Mendoza at Cal. I've been watching him since then. He only got better. I know, man. I'm a Mendoza guy. I love him. I restarted the browser, which fixed the issue. I guess my browser had the issue. Okay. Billy, just have too many holes to trade up. They'll take a quarterback if one falls to them. I hope so. If it's a guy they love. There are GMs that I believe in history. I mean, of course in history, but I think that there are definitely quarterbacks who GMs who've taken quarterbacks who just out of pressure. It's like we need a quarterback, and that's the guy that's left. I think that's happened, and I think it's a terrible thing. See, I'm not sure about other quarterbacks in the draft, but I know Mendoza primarily fits into a pro style offense, emphasizes rhythm, anticipation, and quick, accurate. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like him. You take a quarterback each year. Yeah, I mean, but when? That's the question. Like, if you don't like a quarterback, you can't use a first round pick on one, right? But I mean, I've said that myself. I mean, I've joked that they should just take three quarterbacks in every draft every year and just go in camp, have them run around, play against your first team in reps, and just look for a guy that starts to like look for a guy who sparks. You know what I mean? So, and for all we know, Mendoza could fall to the Jets at like 3. That is possible. It's definitely. I mean, according to PFN, every mock draft I do, I'm getting Mendoza at 5, and then I got Sonny Styles at 18. To me, that's the perfect draft. And then I picked the center from Oregon. I can't say his name. Lapa Lapa Lupa Lupa. I can't say his name. I'm going to call him Oompa Loompa. I take Oompa Loompa at center from Oregon. I mean, that's a perfect top 3 for me. Give me Mendoza. I give me a freaking man to play linebacker, and then give me a center to solidify this offensive line. Give me a generational, not generational, but give me a center for the next decade to go with our 2 tackles, right? And then Joe Tippmann's at guard. Now you only got to fill out one thing. Is it going to be AVT? Is it going to be Simpson? Is it going to be something else? But now you're worried about one thing for the offensive line. And we got 2 guys, whether it's AVT or Simpson, whoever we're going to extend it, what's ever going to happen, but that's a guy familiar with the system. And then you got Myers, the backup center. I love it. At Billy SBC says, and for all we know, Mendoza could fall to the Jets at like 3. That is possible. I already read that. Turkin says that Mendoza will be a Raider. They'll get Ty Simpson or Dante Moore. We don't know that because a lot of mock drafts. Listen, it's not over yet. When is Oregon playing? Is Oregon playing right now? Am I missing the game? Because I mean, we don't know yet. People like Dante Moore, man. The Raiders might like him. This is not a freaking Trevor Lawrence draft. This is not a draft with a clear guy. For me, it's clear. I think for Dom C, it's clear, and for a bunch of you, it's clear. But not even amongst their own fan base. There's that Ty Simpson lunatic, and I don't say he's a lunatic for liking Ty Simpson. I say he's a lunatic because he's obsessed with it enough to change his profile to a Ty Simpson fan or whatever the hell it is, or Ty Simpson or bust. And then there's a lot of people who like Dante Moore. It's not clear. It's not clear. The Raiders might like Dante Moore. Plus, the Raiders are going to play their ass off. I'll tell you what, the last week of the season against Kansas City. They're going to play to win, guys. They hate the Chiefs. They're not laying down. Pete Carroll's not laying down. The Chiefs aren't starting anyone. The Chiefs might lose. They might lose out. We don't know. The Raiders have 3 games left. They might win one. They're the worst team in football, I think. Worse than us. I think they're the worst team in football. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean they're not going to win a game. It doesn't mean they're not going to win a game. As long as Max Crosby is playing, and as long as Brock Bowers is playing, Geno Smith could have a decent game. We know he can. He hasn't been good, but we know he's capable of playing well. If Geno Smith has a good game and lights it up with Bowers, and they have that young running back, and he has a big day, and Max Crosby goes nuts and creates a freaking sack, fumble, strip the ball kind of thing. We create some turnovers. The Raiders could win. But they're definitely the worst team in the NFL. No argument there. But that doesn't mean they can't win. Some people like Dante Moore. Some people like Dante less. Ha ha, Bruno. Bruno, that's good. That's good. I love the puns. Tony Alexio has been here, and I've ignored him. I've neglected my friend Tony. I've neglected him. I haven't said his name. Tony Alexio says, let's go Raiders in Cleveland. Yes. Let's go Raiders in Cleveland. Absolutely. Cleveland, it's hard to believe because their defense is so freaking good. It's so weird to me that Cleveland can't freaking win more games. Giants versus Raiders. Which teams want it less? Yeah, but they're all trying. The Giants have their quarterback, so they're just trying to win. Dart is running and not. The Giants are trying to win. Dart is not sliding. He's going headfirst into tackles. So that's not a team that's tanking on purpose. The Giants are doing everything they can to win. They're allowing their quarterback to play, even though he's had a concussion, and even though he's going headfirst into things, and they're still letting him be out there. So they're trying. Let's say the Jets are sitting at 5 and they don't take a quarterback. Who's your pick there? I like Downs, the safety. I like Averill Reese. I doubt he'd be there at 5, but if he was at linebacker, um, I like the who's the wide receiver? Is it for Jeremiah? What's his name? I'm forgetting his name. Is it from Arizona State or something, or Arizona? The wide receiver. I haven't really looked yet. I haven't really started this process yet, but I know there's some really good wide receivers. Oh, Jordan Tyson. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, there's okay, Bain. That's right. There's Bain. I mean, these are all positions we need, right? At some point, at some point. I don't think that we know for a fact A.D. Mitchell's not a great wide receiver or can't develop into one. I'm not convinced that he can't, but we don't know that he is. And if you have an opportunity and you want to take a guy like Tyson, yeah, no one's going to complain, right? Just lock it down and say we're going to have Tyson and Garrett Wilson and be set at wide receiver. But but Bain, we need an edge. We need an edge desperately. Downs, we need a safety. Reese, we need a linebacker. I mean, we need these things desperately need these things. So it's hard to, trade down the first pick. It's hard to do that because it's nice to get some elite players. We just gave away Sauce Gardner and Quinton Williams. And, at 5, if we didn't take a quarterback, we have an opportunity for an elite player. It's hard because sometimes you need elite players too. And we have the 18th pick. We could trade that one down for a few more picks. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting 2 elite players. Like if you want it, if you took the wide receiver, if you took Downs, and then you took freaking Sonny Styles, let's just become the Ohio State on defense. You know what I mean? Let's take those 2 guys and let them freaking be the future of our defense. Downs and Styles, or Averill Reese and Styles. I mean, you're not going to get any complaints from me. We have so many holes. It doesn't matter to me. We have 2 years to fill them. So just take the best players that fill some of these positions. I like Bain because we desperately need edge. We don't talk about it enough. We have no freaking edge. Jermaine Johnson's good. That's it. That's all we have. We're done. We are so depleted at edge. We need 2 edges. We need 2. Will McDonald's not an edge. He's a pass rush specialist. He's not an edge. He does not solve that issue for us at all. So Sonny Styles. It's a fun name to say. Can you imagine when he gets a sack? It's Sunny time, Sunny Styles. I like the mock draft from S Sports Illustrated. I got to look at it. Oh, you got me thinking of 2nd Avenue Deli, though. Remember how it smelled in there? Oh, the smell of that place. Remember the commercial? Pass me another pickle, please. Oh, 2nd Avenue Deli. Oh, they'd have the pastrami and the roast beef at the counter when you walked up there, sweating in the steam. Oh, it was so good. So good. So delicious. Oh, man. And 2nd Avenue Deli is going to gross a lot of people out, so cover your ears. But I happen to love chopped liver. 2nd Avenue Deli had some good chopped liver, baby. Some good chopped liver. Oh, yeah. Oh, do I miss that place? As a matter of fact, when I get there, someone's saying, ooh, when I go there, when I go back to the city, I'm on the west side. I'm going to walk through the park, Central Park, and I'm going to go to 79th and 1st Avenue, and I'm going to go into that 2nd Avenue Deli. I'm going to get myself some corned beef. I just got a message from Green Bean. What's going on, my brother? Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. We'll have Green Bean on. We're doing the watch party tomorrow. He has some things going on. And he might miss some of it, and he might be in and out. But I'll be there, and we might have some surprise guests. So make sure that you watch the reaction party, the game reaction, the game watch. Jet game New Orleans with Green Bean Jets fan. Go to that channel. Make sure tomorrow we'll be on at about 12:30. We'll go live, and we'll be talking. We'll be talking Jets. We'll be probably most of the chat is going to be, I would imagine, rooting for a loss, but complaining about it at the same time, because our fan base needs therapy. So we're going to be sitting there saying that we have to lose, and then when we're losing, we're going to be sitting there complaining and crying about Aaron Glenn and how bad they are, and even though that's what we're asking for. Tony Alexio says, is Second Avenue Deli better than Katz's for pastrami? No way. No way. But I'll take the corned beef at Second Avenue Deli over. I'll take the corned beef at Second Avenue Deli over Katz's any day of the week. There's no contest. I mean, like, the corned beef at Katz's at Second Avenue Deli is better. I don't even like the corned beef at Katz's. I thought it tasted funny to me. I didn't like it. It was dry. Like, it was weird. It was weirdly off. The pastrami is the best at Katz's. Katz's has the best pastrami on the planet. I mean, I've had special places. I've been to places, go here, and it's wonderful. Nothing is like Katz's when it comes to pastrami. Like, it's the only one that's thick because it's hand sliced, and it's able to be thicker because it's hand sliced, so it's a little thicker, and it doesn't matter because it's butter. It's just moist and perfect and delicious. Second Avenue Deli, the pastrami is sliced with a machine, super thin, and it's just not. It's good. Don't get me wrong; it's probably top 8 in my pastrami sandwich probably that I know of in the world. But their corned beef is the best. Like, I'm at Second Avenue Deli. Sometimes I get the pastrami at Second Avenue Deli. If I can't get the Katz's, I like pastrami better than corned beef, so sometimes I'll do it. Now I get the combination, and what they'll do is you could get the combination pastrami corned beef sandwich, but say I don't want it together. Can you do it as half-half? So you get half the corned beef and half pastrami. That's how I do it. But Second Avenue Deli had the best steak and onions too. That's the thing. But when I used to work there and I could go a couple of times in a week, it wasn't a problem. I'd go on Monday and get the steak and onion. I'd go on Wednesday or Thursday and get the corned beef. The problem is now I'm living in California. When I visit the city, New York, and I only have one shot at it, it's like, what do I do? I haven't gotten the steak and onion in a long time because what wins out when you can only have it once a year or once in a blue moon, it's the corned beef or pastrami that wins out every time. Because the truth is, I could get I could go to, I can get a good steak. It's not the same thing as the steak and onion sandwich, but I could get a good steak. I can't get good pastrami and corned beef like out here. I can't. So, I mean, it is what it is. When I'm in New York and I walk into Second Avenue Deli, the only struggle I have is do I do pastrami, do I do corned beef, or do I do a combo? And then if I'm with my wife, then there's 2 eaters, so we can get like chopped liver as an appetizer. And then we get a couple of slices of rye bread on the side, and I make a little chopped liver sandwich. A little chopped liver, a little bit, who would never hurt anybody. Dom C, if he's still listening, I gotta say, I can't imagine that guy ever eating chopped liver. He's probably like rolling around right now, like going, oh. He's so Italian. Tom C would rather just, give him the gabagool. Pastrami on rye with Swiss cheese. We can't do the Swiss cheese, brother. Not at Second Avenue Deli. Second Avenue Deli keeps it kosher, so there's no Swiss cheese. You could do Swiss cheese at Katz's, I think, because they are not kosher. But Second Avenue Deli is kosher. Like, Katz's is kosher. The meat is kosher, but I don't think they stay kosher. Like, I think that they don't care if you have dairy. I don't think. But, yeah, if you do a Reuben at Second Avenue Deli, there ain't no cheese on that Reuben. Katz's kosher? Okay. Oh, they do? They stay kosher? Okay. But do they serve cheese? Like, is the meat kosher, but they'll give you Swiss if you want? Or is it no? No dairy at Katz's? I don't even remember. I mean, I go all the time, but I don't look at the menu. Like, you know what I mean? When I go to Katz's, it's very simple for me when I go to Katz's. When I go to Katz's, I'm just like, corned beef. I get it on Club, by the way. I want to say this. I get the corned beef on Club. I know that the rye bread is traditional, but to me, it just tastes better on club. Like, I don't care. Like, I think that everybody's so locked in on tradition that you have to get rye bread. I like it better on club. I just do. When I'm at Katz's, I get it on club. A pastrami on club is the greatest thing in the world to me. And then I put a nice thick slather of that freaking spicy brown mustard, and I am in paradise. Paradise, I tell you. The Reubens, man, I used to just go the good Brooklyn diners, man. That's where I get a Reuben. Arch Diner in Canarsie, that was my place. But Seaview Diner was good. And then the Floridian Diner near Kings Plaza, the Kings Plaza Diner, any of those places, man, what I would do for a freaking Reuben, burn the freaking fries. Burn the fries, Reuben. Oh, yeah. I miss that. I miss that a lot. Yeah, this is becoming a food channel, I know. Katz's pickles are pretty good, but they're not what they used to be. When I was a kid, the pickles were big, fat, freaking giant pickles. Now I go in there and they give you a dish and they're these little skimpy pickles. They still taste good. But man, do I miss the big freaking pickles. There used to be a deli in Canarsie, across the street from South Shore High School, Joe's Deli. And we used to go in there and get the pickles, man. They were huge. Huge. Big fat pickles I think it was like 10 cents, 15 cents. I mean, it depends on what year it was, but it cost nothing. You just get a big fat pickle, you know. Turk is saying I got him started. Coleslaw is good too. The coleslaw, um, uh, you know, coleslaw from the supermarkets in Brooklyn when I grew up. You can't be beat, man. The potato salad, I miss that. Anyway, trying to shift back. Hit the like button, guys, if you're here. I'm stuck on 7 likes for the last 40 minutes. You know, you can feel free to hit the like button. Um, and I'm gonna say New Orleans. We have to lose that game. I'm very confident we'll lose the other 2 games. Very confident. I'm very confident. We do good with all of our voters, with our Jewish voters. We do well. We're doing well with the Jews. Well with the Jews. We're doing well. We're doing well with our black voters. Thank you to our black voters. We love our blacks. We love our black voters. We're doing very well. Um, I'm headed to Brooklyn tomorrow. So, where in Brooklyn? Yeah, we're talking about all this deli, but the only good Jewish deli I loved in Brooklyn was Mill Basin Deli. I grew up on Grabstein's Deli, but they closed. So in Canarsie, we had Grabstein's, but in Mill Basin, we had the Mill Basin Deli. And I believe they're still there. Flatbush. Well, Flatbush is a big place. Are you going to be by Grand Army Plaza? Or are you going to be by Kings Plaza? That's like 40 minutes away from each other. It's the opposite sides of Brooklyn. So it depends where you are in Flatbush. But Flatbush Avenue near Brooklyn College, if you're anywhere in that area, that's just it's a little different. Oh, if you're going to be by Kings Plaza, by that Flatbush, you know where I would go if I was you? You know where I would go? I would go to Brennan Carr. I'd go to a place, if you don't know it, you probably know it because you seem like a food guy. If you're near Kings Plaza, it's Avenue Utica. Utica, I think it's Utica Avenue or Avenue U. I forgot which one. I think it's Utica. Brennan Carr, Brenn, and Carr, Carr. Brennan Carr. That's where I would go if I was you to eat. Roast beef sandwiches. They dip them in the O juice. Like the whole sandwich, they dunk it in and take it out real fast. Oh my God. Brennan Carr, man. You could do a freaking combo where you get like a cheeseburger or a burger and the roast beef on the same freaking bun. Like it's crazy. But I would just go classic roast beef, provolone. I think they do. They dip it. Do it the dipped. There's the choice. They do one where they just put a little sauce on it on the meat. There's one where they put the sauce on it and they dip it. And then there's one where they freaking soak it and cover it in sauce. I wouldn't do that because then it's not a sandwich. The one where they quickly dip it, it's still a sandwich. You could pick it up and eat it. Yeah, man. Brendan Carr. If you're by Kings Plaza, what's the other options if you're near Kings Plaza? If you want to drive a little, you can go to if you're in the mood for pizza, you can go to Original Pizza. That's in Mill Basin. Or if you're in the mood for deli and you're by Kings Plaza, you're only a 5 to 7 minute drive from Mill Basin Deli, so you can go to the Mill Basin Deli too. My wife is in Israel, so would want Olympia Pita. Oh, remember? I think they closed on not far from there on in Sheepshead Bay. I'm forgetting the name of the Turkish restaurant. There was a giant Turkish restaurant. It was so good. My wife's favorite. Need Raiders to win so we can get Mendoza. Yeah. Well, we have to lose, and then we have to. I mean, I'm very confident we're going to lose the last two games of the year. I'm very very confident. Like New England is playing for the number one seed. They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up, lose, and have Buffalo win, and suddenly they don't win the division. So New England's going to be playing for for a lot. Buffalo is going to either be playing to win the division the last week of the year or to still be in it in the division possibility or just seeding, right? Wild card seeding. So Buffalo and New England are coming to play. And we're playing Brady freaking Carr or Brady freaking Cook. So like I'm not worried about those two games. Those teams are gonna crush us. They're in playoff mode. And they're just gonna devour us. They're going to dominate us. They're going to bend us over, and they're going to call us whatever they want to call us as they spank our behinds. But New Orleans, tomorrow's the game we have to worry about, man. Yeah, and Mendoza could end up a dud, Bruno, like 50%. I don't think my heart tells me it's not 50%, and I feel he's going to be good, but statistics tell me it's 50%. Statistics say he's 50% chance going to be a bum. Wish list for tomorrow. Mendoza, Saints over. Mendoza, race. Saints over Jets. Titan win. Yeah, of course, Titans, Browns, Raiders, Giants, wins. Yeah, yeah. These are all the things we want to see happen. What if Brady Kirk develops into a franchise quarterback? I think it's a 1% chance statistically. Like he's an undrafted free agent. You don't even have to look at the player. If you just go by data, if you go like only like less than 1% of the time does the NFL get it wrong and miss out on a guy who has the potential to be even a starter in the NFL. Like they're not. It's hard to prospect quarterback, and they're only right 50% of the time in the first round. But what they're almost 100% right about is if they don't draft you, you're probably not that good. The closest thing, it's a lone example, is Brock Purdy, right? Because he was the bubble pick. He was almost not drafted, and he's a good quarterback. But that's like such an outlier. How many quarterbacks can you name in history that were not drafted or drafted in the seventh round? There's Tom Brady, sixth round. So I'm not saying it's impossible. But Tom Brady and Brock Purdy both did something Brady Cook didn't do. They both played well right from the start. Brady Cook didn't play well. Those weren't like, oh, he was under a lot of pressure. He's in a terrible situation. No, not true. I watched it back. I did my count off. I did my timer. He had 2.5 plus to 3.5 seconds. He had time in the pocket. Our offensive line on a lot of those plays, especially watch the interceptions, they gave him time. He wasn't under crazy duress. They didn't break down on him. One of them was sad. It was like an attempt at the corner of the end zone, and if it was 6 inches higher, it potentially could have dropped in and been magical, beautiful pass. But it was 6 inches too low, and it was intercepted. And the other interception was just disgusting. That's why he's an undrafted free agent. It was disgusting. So can he develop into something? Can he be a backup quarterback? I'd never say no. It's possible. You know what I mean? I'll never say it's impossible, but are you really going to count on that? It's happened, like, I just named the 2 times it's happened in the last 50 years. Like, or 30 years, let's say. Because if you go back 50, if you go back too far, lots of guys weren't drafted. It was a different kind of league back then. But if you go in modern history, modern football, since the 80s, since I've been a fan, for example, you could name just how many guys ever became effective quarterbacks that weren't drafted in the NFL draft? You know, um, yeah, I have nothing against Brady Cook. It's just that everybody's saying he's thrown to the dogs. He wasn't ready. He's only an undrafted free agent, and that's fine and that's true. And I'm not saying it's impossible they couldn't develop, but I could also say that you could only name three quarterbacks since the '80s, maybe at tops, that were not drafted that became effective quarterbacks. Like, why wasn't he drafted? If he's good, why wasn't he drafted? Like, why did nobody draft him? He went through the whole freaking process. He played in front, he played Division One. He was in front of the world playing. It was like they went through all the freaking motion. He did everything you're supposed to do. Nobody wanted him. So it's like, to me, it's like it's possible, but it's 1%. You know what I mean? Can lightning strike? Yes. And I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying, why would we put our hopes in that though? Why would we put our hopes in a 1% chance? It just doesn't seem to, like, I mean, Hooker has as good a chance to magically find his way with us. Um, I don't think Hooker will be good, Tony Alexio, but please be his fan. I want to hear the Hooker package nonstop. Hey, Hooker package, the Chaos Hooker package, Hooker package, Green Bean Hooker package. Like, please fall in love with him. Watch the film. Fall in love with Hooker. Tony the GM loved him. Called him. Now he says, "Oh well, he's a development project." But at the time, I thought he just said he loved him. Uh, Jeremy, we are Jets fans. That's why. Right. That's what we do. We always love the quarterback who's not proven to suck yet. How many games will it take for of Brady Cook sucking until every Jet fan turns on him and says, "I hate him, get him out of here"? He gets more leeway because he was undrafted. If Zach Wilson, his first bad game, the first game of his career, half the Jets fan base said he sucks. He'll never be good from one game, his first game. Right? It's all expectation because he was drafted. Because he was drafted second overall. But you're an undrafted free agent. You could suck for 5 or 6 games before the fans start turning on you. So he has the remainder of the season. Yep. I mean, and I'm happy about it that he's playing the remainder of the season. I want Brady Cook to play the rest of the year. And if it wasn't him that's playing, then unleash our Hooker package. I like the sound of it, Tony. I like the sound of it. Unleash the Hooker package. Anyway, look, I got to run. Everybody, we do very well. We do very well with the Tony Alexios. We do very well with the Turkins. With the Brunos, we do well. We do mightily. Anyway, I'm going to watch some football now. Guys, take care. Peace be thy journey. Cool runnings. Whatever they say. Have a Reuben on me. Or eat a Reuben and let me be jealous of you. And Billy SBC, you the man, bro.